Hi everyone. I'm gonna be ready for part four. Sorry, get it right. Of my 300 horsepower Ninja H2 rebuild. I think I'm going to try and get the radiator and the rest of the hoses on today. The pump for the H2O cooler, and all the wiring that goes on the top of the head, which is the coils and etc. etc. It's quite a tight space there. The blow-off valve. Pipe work to go to the induction tube, supercharged pipe, and look at it from there and see where we go from there. Hopefully it will come quite quick today. I'm going to show you the radiator before I put it on and show you where the H2O cooler is and how it particularly works. Well, I think you probably know, as you can see from the back there, there's like a radiator inside the plenum, and it pumps like water or coolant. You could use either or around through pipes and its own external electronic pump. It's totally independent from the coolant side of things. The only thing it has is an overflow from the pump, the electric pump, to the expansion bottle of the original bike. That's the only thing, and that's just to stop it going basically to the floor or without actually making a separate expansion bottle. But everything else is independent, so if that fails, your coolant won't fail on the bike, and if your coolant fails for some reason, if the water pump on the bike fails, the H2O cooler will still work. But you know, the bike will get hot anyway. Either way, whichever one fails, it will get hot at the bike. We have noticed that when we originally tested this before I had the any other additional work done to it, we got 297 BHP at the rear wheel corrected horsepower, which is standard in industry standard DIN setting on the Dynajet machines, and we did it in it was a dyno room at the time. The temperature in the dyno room was 40 degrees C. It was the hottest day last year it ever worked in the dyno room, and the bike never got hot, which these bikes will get hot if you're in really hot temperature. That's why they're only a part third bike. But luckily enough, because I've managed to get the bike to cool really nicely, I am looking on potentially if I can get hold of a bottom half of a fairing to make it a little bit more aerodynamic. I have seen one and I have got one on order. Whether it'll need modifications when it comes to make it fit, I don't know. It's going to be a suck it and see sort of situation. So I'll get cracking on with it. I'll just quickly show you the radiator and how it works, the way it's mounted to the original radiator of the bike. And then I'll do some footage of what I've done as I've gone along. This is the, as you see, the black radiator with the H2O cooler radiator clamped on one, on each side. It's got on one of the fan bolts, and it's got these like brackets that go round and bolt onto it. It doesn't move once it's all tightened up tight. It's really good. I have to have one of the H2O cooler pipes coming into there. It has to go through where the loom originally goes, so the loom has to be mounted slightly above it. Obviously these are the two fans, and on the other side here, the other pipe will come through from here. This particular pipe comes from, let me think, this one comes from the pump into there. Then that one goes out into the H2O cooler, and then the other one comes back to the pump. So that's how it's sort of wired up, but I'll show you as we go along. Right, that's it for tonight. It's been quite tricky getting things sorted. I had to repair one of the wires for here. One of the wires had come out, that yellow one there had come out, so I had to get another pin. Luckily enough, I've got the pins, and reconnect another pin and everything in. Obviously that's the pump for the O2 cooler. All the pipes are connected up now from there, and the radiator pipes and the cooler are connected. I haven't put the top mount in here because I've got to find a little shim that's missing here, and I haven't put that radiator hose on yet, but everything else is on. So plenum's on. I've got to tighten these up first. I've got to find my rise and rate fuel pump because that's where it takes the feed from. Also, what I've done is I've put a T-piece in there from the plenum. One goes back to the what they call the I think it's called the supercharger purge valve, and the other side goes to a device that turns it electronically so I can have my boost gauge on. It will also tell me if the ECU is actually purging the boost out as it gets to a certain PSI. There is rumours that the H2 will only go up to a certain PSI, and then the ECU will dump pressure, and then also the H2R has got a slightly different ECU which will make the boost go a bit higher. There's always a particular way around that. It can be quite dangerous if you overboost. This pipe going to the purge valve, that actually sends the valve down, the boost valve thing here, the connector on there, that will open up, right, and release air into that, which will then open that, which will then dump the boost out, which at the moment I'm going to put it back into the air duct just to make it quieter. Now, whether you take that pipe off, blank it off, and then it can't dump any boost, it'll think it's doing it but it's not doing it, is an idea. I really don't know what people's thoughts are on that. We'll have to see and see where we go. Obviously the boosts are fixed on the supercharge because it goes off gears, off the gears up there, so whatever gears you've set it at is what it'll do. Now this is a stage 3 geared bike, and I'm hoping that it's all going to be running fine. I do have stage 4 gears for it as well, which is the I think the biggest amount of gears you can actually put on without having to make a chain. I have had a chain made for slightly different gearing, but it's too loose at the moment in the situation it's on. So maybe when I go to stage 4, or even maybe there might even be a stage 5, but then we'll probably have to start looking at ECU problems, issues and so on, and might have to change the H2R ECU. But whether I'm going to go that far is probably a not, really, to be honest, because this is a road bike, and this will be a 300 horsepower, well it was before, 300 horsepower road bike, which is a hell of a lot of power for the roads. That's one of the reasons when I found I had ECU problems, wiring loom problems, where the connections were certain, when devices were fitted to it, were too close to connections and then they snapped off, and then it's a pain in the ass to try and redo everything. So I ended up deciding to go for the 2018 wiring loom ECU clocks, and they've got like a device with this sense bank angle and everything, and it all helps the traction control, which to be honest with you, a 300 horsepower bike, I think you'd want better traction control for the road. Probably won't be using it at all for the track, but as I say, I'd rather be a bit safer on the road, because you don't know what you're going to hit on the road, and you might just need that little bit of friggin' traction control to just hold it in line. So hopefully it won't be far long before it's finished built. Now I'm going to have to order a couple of parts, which I've ordered a couple of others, couple of parts already. As I say, the boost gauge, the blow off valve here is only loosely on because I haven't got a gasket for it yet. So I've ordered the gasket, and then once I've got the gasket I'll have to loosen that off and so on. So I can't get anywhere putting the tank on. Same with, I'm going to go through the manual and find out what this particular plug is for, because so far I can't find the end of it. So I've got the wiring diagram, I know what colour wires they are, and I'll check. The other side there's a plug loose on its own, which I think is the electronic quick shifter, which I do not use on this bike because I've got my own system. There's also wires here at the back here where I've took the thingy valve off, you know, for the exhaust valve, because I haven't got it on the bike, so I've got a different exhaust on. So there's a possibility that plug is going to be the O2 one, because obviously there's no O2 sensor on this anymore. I am not 100% sure, but I will check on that. But I thought the O2 sensors had more than 2 wires to them nowadays. I will check in the manual. I am almost certain that it has 4 wires on this bike. So because the wideband O2s now, and they tend to have 4 wires nowadays. So I'll have to have a look to see what that one is. But I'll have a read through that tonight, and I'll have it solved by tomorrow. And then I'll probably be stripping everything to find the plug. It's always sod's law that. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Hey ho. So I'm going to call it a night now, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching again. Do check my website out, which is www.team-leg-end.co.uk. Recently set it up. It's got latest videos are on there. All the videos I've been doing on this will be on there. There's I'm just going to start doing blogs soon with the racing and that. And there's a bit of information about myself and my amputation, which I will be updating and putting more detail into it when I can. But yeah, have a good little look around that, and so on and all that. And I will catch you again in the next video. Thank you.